The remaining communications were from fellow parish councillors. There were no surprises here. As soon as Parminda had emailed him to tell him that she knew of somebody who was interested in standing for Barry's seat, he had expected these 6 to rally round her, demanding an election. Together with Benzuria herself, there were the ones he dubbed the obstreperous faction, whose leader had recently fallen. Onto this pile he placed the completed forms of Colin Wall, their chosen candidate. Into a third pile he placed 4 more letters, which were, likewise, from expected sources, professional complainers of Pagford, known to Howard as perennially dissatisfied and suspicious, all-prolific correspondents to the Yarville and District Gazette. Each had their own obsessive interest in some esoteric local issue and considered themselves independent-minded. They were to be the ones most likely to scream nepotism if Miles had been co-opted, but they were among the most anti-Fields people in town. Howard took the last 2 letters in each hand, weighing them up. One of them was from a woman whom he had never met, who claimed, Howard took nothing for granted, to work at the Bellchapel Addiction Clinic. The fact that she styled herself Ms. inclined him to believe her. After some hesitation, he placed this on top of Cubby Wall's application forms. The last letter, unsigned and typed on a word processor, demanded an election in intemperate terms. It had an air of haste and carelessness and was littered with typos. The letter extolled the virtues of Barry Fairbrother and named Miles specifically as unfit to fill his shoes, spelt S-H-E-O-S. Howard wondered whether Miles had a disgruntled client out there who might prove to be an embarrassment. It was good to be forewarned of such potential hazards. However, Howard doubted whether the letter, being anonymous, counted as a vote for an election. He therefore fed it into the little desktop shredder that Shirley had given him for Christmas. 2. Edward Collins and Co., the Pagford solicitors, occupied the upper floor of a terraced brick house with an optician's on the ground floor. Edward Collins was deceased, and his firm comprised 2 men, Gavin Hughes, who was the salaried partner with 1 window in his office, and Miles Mollison, who was the equity partner with 2 windows. They shared a secretary who was 28, single, plain, but with a good figure. Shona laughed too long at all Miles's jokes and treated Gavin with a patronage that was almost offensive. The Friday after Barry Fairbrother's funeral,